Over the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to engineering fictions. I'm going to talk about some of the key words that we use in the workshops, and I'm going to outline the basic structure or process that each workshop follows. Engineering fictions is an improvisational writing workshop. Its bespoke design affords people time to creatively explore and respond to ideas, questions and doubts relating in some way to technology and communication through fiction. I created this workshop in 2013 with and for telecommunications engineering researchers as part of my doctoral research. In creating this workshop, I was responding to the engineers' desire to find new ways of understanding ourselves and fresh approaches to communicating communications. Supporting these two movements of inquiry, both inward and outward facing, remains a core function of the workshop, whatever the community or context. Over the years, engineering fictions has developed its own vocabulary. So I want to introduce you to some of the key words we use in the workshops and also offer you a sense of the basic structure or process of each workshop. Though it's important to say that every workshop is different. It depends on the time of day, the topic, the conversation that happens, the community. All of these things play a role in how each workshop plays out. So I am the host or foil of each workshop. I help to co-design the workshop. I help to select a seed to focus the conversation and to help the catalyst decide how they will present the seed. I devise the writing constraints. I support conversation and active listening. I make connections and call out patterns between diverging ideas. And I'm responsible for timekeeping. Next up is the catalyst. The catalyst is the person I work most closely with on each session, and they are usually a different person each time. The catalyst is someone who has a desire to share an idea or a question, or to make a proposition or provocation within the community of the workshop. Together, the catalyst and I decide on the seed for the session, and we discuss possibilities for writing. The catalyst is the person who introduces the community of the workshop to the seed idea or question for the session. They may do this in whatever way they choose, through story, through slideshow, through objects and narration, through music, through movement. It's wide open. The seed, as you might have gathered by now, is the point of departure for the workshop. It's the idea or question or provocation that we will take in collectively to shape our conversation and inform our writing. The constraints are the rules of thumb or instructions we use to help us write in response to the conversations, ideas and questions seeded in the workshop by the catalyst. Before I outline the basic structure of the workshop, I just want to emphasise that unless you're the catalyst, the only preparation you need is really just to be prepared to listen actively and to keep an open and compassionate mind. No other preparation is required and no previous experience of writing workshops is necessary. While every workshop is different, each workshop moves through 5 basic phases. The first phase is attuning. This is where the people gather. The host prepares some kind of ritual of welcome, hospitality, basically a way to tune in to what's about to happen. So the main actions that we'd be engaged with here would be gathering, drinking, nibbling, meeting, talking, sitting, waiting, listening. So these are the kind of activities we'd be engaging with here. The second phase is seeding. So this is where the seed idea or question or provocation is presented by the catalyst of the session. So the main actions here that we'd be engaging with are offering, proposing, thinking, questioning on the part of the catalyst. And then the rest of the group would be listening, watching, thinking, feeling. These are all the actions we'd be involved with. The third phase then is conversing. This is when we begin to chat about the seed, the idea, the question that's been opened out. So we open up to a collective response. Now, very often the conversation is a bit slow to start, and silence is something that we will have to become a little more accustomed to in the context of this workshop. But slowly but surely, or maybe explosively, conversation will happen one way or another. So the main actions that we'd be involved with here will be listening, thinking, feeling, speaking, speculating, proposing, doubting, questioning, joking, laughing, all that kind of thing. The fourth phase then is writing. So this is where myself and the catalyst will introduce the writing constraints, and the group will collectively begin to get ready to write. So we'll be kind of understanding what the constraints are together. People will be able to ask questions. What does this mean? And do you mean we have to do this? Or so we'll have a chance to just tease out what the instructions actually are. But the main actions we'll be engaged with here will involve reflecting, responding, listening, timing, thinking, articulating, playing, doodling, framing, dreaming, writing, being. And there'll also be, a chance here for people to just take a little time out, to take a break, to get refreshment, go for a little walk. So the writing usually is given a fixed amount of time. So it could be 20 minutes. It could be, a series of short exercises, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So usually it's about 20 to 30 minutes of writing. Phase 5 then is where we are all summoned back together. The host will summon everybody back into each other's attention after a determined period of time. And we will all be invited to read aloud and listen to each other's writing. And usually, again, silence plays a role here. People have the chance to say no, they don't want to share their work, but we really encourage people to read what they've written. It's a very liberating experience, and you can always ask someone else to read yours, or we can shuffle things up. So while it is a kind of a vulnerable experience, we can make it a comfortable one too. So the actions that we'd be engaging with here would be, attuning, reading, speaking, looking, listening, learning, responding, perceiving, and feeling. So those are the 5 phases of each engineering fictions workshop: attuning, seeding, conversing, writing, and sharing.